Hi, welcome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me. So what I have here today is a reading uh, to kind of channel messages that will help us during this Venus and Virgo transit. So yeah, so like my intention with doing this is, to take get some messages about, different areas of our life that, might need some attention, and to hopefully get some information about, what are the little things that we can do in order to create that space to receive love, right? And so I will say that my intention as I'm doing this reading is to get messages for those who are looking for, a sustainable love, like a long-term love, right? So this isn't kind of like a dating, flirting sort of reading. It's more of like, hey, what's some of the work that you might need to address if you are ready to open up yourself and welcome in, long lasting, sustainable, like fair, balanced sort of love, right? So yeah, some of the themes in, during this, next couple of weeks. So I believe the Venus in Virgo transit ends on the 29th of September. So it goes a little bit into Libra season. But, I felt very called to do this reading because we do think of Venus in Virgo as it being in a, as Venus is in a debilitated state, or it's in a false state when it's in Virgo, right? Because these are almost like opposing energies, right? Because when you think of Venus, you think of, like love and pleasure and, all the good stuff, like abundance, I don't know. And, Virgo is more practical and, let's, refine the details and, kind of get to work on, doing things. And, I can see how those can be kind of opposing energies. And yet at the same time, it's just such a wonderful time to, be introspective for, those people who are ready to put in the work, right? Like to, take that, that hermit, that Virgo, that introspective energy and look within to, ultimately like shed a light into, in this case, the facets of your love life that need attention, right? So as I do my reading, I will be looking at, I'll have three different, I guess, columns, if you must. I will do a column to address, like the physical realm or like body, right? Like whatever kind of wants to come through, like, or like the material realm, right? And then the middle column will be for the heart space. And then the third column will represent mental space, okay? So and we'll be looking like at kind of like those areas holistically, sorry. But, hopefully that'll kind of help us create a bigger picture. And then, we'll be pulling out cards to think about like what needs attention, and then the little steps that you can start taking to tend to those needs, right? So that's kind of the beauty of this, transit, that it's just a wonderful time to kind of, like, sorry, I have like 20 million type of idiomatic expressions in my head that I can't even choose one. But like, to lay the groundwork, I guess, right? To start like planting seeds, in order to, reap those benefits later, right? To make sure that you have a stable foundation for like when you're welcoming in love later, right? So like right now, I think, it is kind of you are, doing the work, introspectively. However, like this is just kind of, you're trying to set a strong foundation, right? So anyway, I will stop ranting. But yeah, I do have 4 piles from which you can choose today. For the first pile, this is from the Wandering Star tarot deck. And this is a piece of blue calcite. Pile number 2 is from the Tarot Familiars. And this is, I'm going to mess this up, Indigo Grabbo or Indigo Gabbro. I'm sorry. It's either Gabbro or Grabbo. And I know it has another name that is not coming to mind right now. But it is quite lovely. I'm sorry that my light is terrible. And pile number 3 is from the Modern Witch Tarot deck. And it's accompanied by this piece of fluorite. And pile number 4 is from the Tarot Oscuro, and it is accompanied by this orange calcite. So as you decide, you know, I'm going to say a couple of things, right? First, if you're attracted to the stone, definitely look up the stone, because, or the crystal, or the, you know, just because there might be additional messages for you in that, things that might, you know, help you during the season or during this time. I did choose, you know, the Hermit for each of these cards, or for each of these decks, I'm sorry, because, you know, that's Virgo energy, you know. I was hoping to kind of like work with that, maybe like, you know, I think the images, you know, there might be something that calls to you, right? So, you know, as you decide the pile that you would like to choose, you know, definitely, I want you to take a moment to check in with yourself, tap into your intuition, take a couple of deep breaths, and also, you know, ground yourself. You know, and as you listen to these messages, if you know for certain, you know, that a pile is not for you, you can definitely, you know, choose another pile. And it's also possible that this reading might not have a message for you, right? Like, nonetheless, you know, when we're tapped in, you know, one of the reasons we do that is, or like checking in and trusting ourselves, right, is because you'll know when something resonates with you and when it's meant for you, right? And, you know, sometimes it might be things we're not ready to hear and things like that, and you get to decide, you know, what you do with that information. But, you know, definitely trust yourself. Trust that you know which of the messages are for you, right? Sometimes, you know, a whole reading might not resonate, but there might be messages in there. So anyway, yeah, definitely, you know, trust yourself above all, right? So yeah, go ahead and choose, and I will see you at your reading. Thank you so much. Hi, pile number 1, or calcite pile, or Wandering Star Tarot pile. I am going to start by shuffling the cards. If you have no idea what we're doing here, I would like to encourage you to listen to the intro. I explain a little bit more about, you know, the spread that I'm doing. But just as a quick recap, we are just thinking about, you know, how to align what we want with what we do, right? So it's about, you know, kind of some introspection during this Venus and Virgo season, or, you know, for the next couple of weeks as this transit happens, you know, thinking about what are some of the little things that we can do in different areas of our lives to, you know, make space and you know, develop healthy habits that are going to help us welcome in love. And this is a love reading. So yeah. All right. So let's get started. So in the bottom here, I am going to Pull out cards that talk about, you know, what needs attention. So in body, you have Five of Pentacles, and I'm going to try to, like, see if I can fit all of them in here. In your heart space, you have the Queen of Pentacles. In mind, you have the Six of Cups. Okay. So this is saying this is what needs your attention. The second pile is going to be, you know, what do you need to do, right? Like, what are the next steps to start tending to what needs attention? So you have the Five of Wands. So 2 5s. I'm going to move this right here. So we have 2 5s right here. In your heart space, you have Justice backwards. And then you have the 8 of Pentacles reversed. Okay. So for the overall energy, you do have the Page of Pentacles reversed as well. All right. So let's see. What do we have here? Okay. Well, there seems to be definitely some struggle in your physical realm, right? Like you are, you're going through something, right? I'm sensing you might even be going through a breakup, some of you, or you're going through like a hard time in your relationship. So this, you know, Five of Pentacles really does talk about, you know, being, you know, kind of down and out, you know, going through hardships and struggles. And, you know, for what you can start doing about it, you do have the Five of Wands, and you know, usually this is kind of like a very competitive card, but because this is saying that, you know, these are the little steps that you can start taking toward addressing, you know, these hardships and these struggles, what I'm really getting is that you need to start standing your ground on something, okay? So there is something unfair happening, right? And you can feel it in your heart. There is something, some needs not being met. There are things being disregarded. Maybe you're not standing up for yourself is really what I'm getting. So I think, you know, what this is suggesting is that you need to do some work to feel, right, like that Queen of Pentacles, to feel loving, to feel loyal and charming. And, you know, that's what needs your attention, that you are not there, right? You are feeling down and out. You are feeling... So with the Justice card reversed, well, okay, so with the Justice card reversed, what I'm getting is that you feel like something is not balanced, right? Like something was not fair. Maybe somebody took too much from you, or somebody was taking advantage of you, those sorts of feelings. So, you know, this Five of Wands is really suggesting, yeah, like you need to stand your ground. And, you know, with this Eight of Pentacles reversed, you know, the Eight of Pentacles talks about a lot of hard work. It talks about, you know, putting in, you know, putting in the action, right? Like in order to get the results that you want. But with it being reversed, what I'm almost getting is that you're putting in too much of the work in your relationships, right? So maybe like the struggle here that is happening is that, you know, you've been maybe doing too much for your partner, or just, you know, like, and therefore not taking care of yourself, not being in this Queen of Pentacles vibe that needs your attention. You know, with the Six of Cups here, right? It's suggesting, hey, the goal is harmony, reconciliation, right? It says childhood as well. But I think for this reading, what I'm really getting is that, it is possible to resolve whatever it is that, you are going through, but you are going to have to almost like put your put your wands down, or not. Okay, not put your wands down, right? Because you're standing up for yourself, but you are not any longer doing all of the work for this relationship, because there is an imbalance in this relationship. So there is not an equal give and take sort of thing, right, happening, right? The Six of Cups, is the sixes are also balanced, right? And you're not, that's what you want to do. You want to focus on that. You want a balanced relationship, and that's going to start by valuing yourself, right? So not letting yourself get taken advantage of, not doing all the work for this relationship, okay? So I think what this Venus and Virgo season is asking you to do is to think about yourself. Think about setting some boundaries, really, right? I mean, you have, from the 5 to the 6 here, like that's, good, right? Like, with the 5 of Pentacles, I always think of it as, I mean, not me, right? But like in general, we tend to focus on the down and out when there's actually, a lot of resources behind there, right? So like other resources that you can use. In this case, it might be your partner, having them, do their fair share so that things get to a balance. With this Page of Pentacles here, it says talent, skill, money. I'm almost wondering, I mean, some of these issues might be money related for some of you. The Page of Pentacles is reversed here. So it just tells me, of things that are not really getting started. Particularly, this feels definitely like a pile for somebody that is in a relationship. So this is not like a single pile. If you're single, I mean, I think you can definitely apply some of this, right? Like definitely make sure that you're looking to value yourself in order to, make sure that you are calling in a balanced relationship, that you're not doing the work in your future relationships. But for those of you that are in relationships, I really get that you need to take a step back, right? And that starts by focusing yourself. And because the Queen of Pentacles is in the heart space, I say like working on your self-love and your self-worth, and really valuing that so that the other person can also value you. So that being said, I'm gonna take a card from the Star Codes Astro Oracle and see what messages the stars have for us. I'll read I think that's like a challenge and a gift, and I'll read those from the card. And all right, so we have, so we have the 6th house and the number 44 in there. And then you do have, 4, 4, 2 5s. 4 and 4 is 8, and then 8. I don't know if those mean anything to anyone, right? Okay. We're card at 44. Give me 1 second. Okay. So the challenge here says, worry can give you the illusion that you're taking care of business, but it does not further your goals. So what I'm getting here with that challenge is that, you're putting so much effort into this that you feel like you're working toward this relationship or toward a relationship, but it's almost like you're putting your energy into the wrong thing, right? by like focusing so much on the other person's needs, or by, you know, taking care of all the business yourself. And also I want to bring up that this is the 6th house, and the keyword is like sustainability. So sorry, I didn't lose my train of thought. I cut myself off. But what I was gonna say is that, okay, let me go back. I'm sorry about my rantings, but you know, with the first thing that I was saying was, you might feel like you're working right towards something, but you know, you're putting your effort into the wrong thing, right? So you don't want, like, is it sustainable is really what I'm getting. Is it really sustainable to be in a relationship where you're doing all of the work, right? And I'm gonna say the answer is probably no. For some of you it might be yes, but you know, that might be a question that you need to ask yourself. And then, you know, the 6th house is kind of, you know, like those daily habits, daily routines, like sort of thing, right? Like kind of like your job, not like your career, but like your job. So, you know, are you taking care of too many of those things by yourself, right? And is that sustainable? I think that's kind of what this card is adding on to this. So for the gift, it says you can create a beautiful and sustainable ecosystem out of your life as you pursue a delicious, healthy work-life balance. So this talks about work-life balance, but you know, it might be right, like you know, that might mean something to someone, but I'm also thinking about, like, you know, like a home life balance, right? Where you know, I go back to this, right? Make sure that you are taking care of yourself, right? That you are not, you know, taking on all of the work, right? Like, make sure that you are working on that actual balance between you and your partner, so that, you know, you can get to the 6 of Cups, right? Like, you want to get to that harmony, that reconciliation stage. Okay. All right. So, you know, I'm going to read a little bit from the action. So it says, action, work smarter, not harder. The opposite of a dysfunctional situation is a sustainable ecosystem. Make your life sustainable. Look at the time, resources, love, care, and sweat that you put into your life, and assess whether you are putting as much in as you get out, and whether you're receiving as much as you put in. The input and the output have to match. Maybe not every day, but certainly every week or every month, or you cannot sustain the long haul. So yes, are you inputting more into this relationship or into your love life than you are getting back? Okay. I think creating, you know, habits and routines, and addressing those, you know, daily things, you know, with your partner, and kind of setting up routines that are going to divide, right, like the workload, that are going to you know, make this, you know, cohabitation, or, you know, being together or whatever, sustainable in the long run, right? So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Thank you so much, pile number 1. If anything resonated, let me know, or leave me a like or a comment. Thank you so much. Hi, pile number 2, and or those of you who chose the Mystic Merlinite or the Tarot Familiars, welcome. So if you don't know what we're doing here, I would like to encourage you to listen to the intro as I explain a little bit more about the reading that I'm doing. However, in, you know, in a little snippet, what I'm really doing is we're tapping into the energy of this Venus and Virgo transit, and we are thinking about those things that we need to do, that, you know, that need attention in different areas of our life, and things that we need to do in order to, you know, be able to, you know, clear space and have ultimately, you know, healthy love lives, and, you know, welcome in love, or kind of work on, you know, love romantic relationships that we are in currently. So this is, yeah, very much a love type of reading. All right. So thank you. I'm gonna do just that one last shuffle and let's get started. Okay. So in the body realm or the physical realm, you have the Two of Pentacles reversed. And then you have in the heart space, the King of Wands reversed. In the mind space, you have the High Priestess reversed. Okay. So kind of steps, you know, how you can start to work on things. You have the Knight of Cups reversed. Okay. The heart space, Temperance reversed. And Two of Swords in the mental space. All right. Well. Whew. And okay. Overall energy is Judgment. Okay. I am going to say something that this is what, you know, the first thing that kind of popped into my head. It was, okay. So some of you, this might not resonate for everybody, but for those of you to whom it does, I'm going to say it. Some of you out there might be making a decision between, I'm getting between two people. It does not have to be two people, but it could be. You know, we do have the Two of Pentacles reversed here, which shows imbalance. We have the Two of Swords, I'm so sorry, upright, which is also right, a kind of like that decision making. You know, in this Judgment card in here. Okay, so what I am noticing in this Judgment card, let me know if you can see, but right, there's like a Three of Swords there, a moon, what else is in there? Death, Ace of Pentacles, and I really wish I could see the top, okay? But I can't. So it's almost like having another mini spread in this, right? But like with the moon and death and Ace of Pentacles. So to me, that just says, right, like there's, you know, something hidden, something changing. And then the Ace of Pentacles is like a new beginning with that Three of Swords. There's that heartbreak energy. You know, there's like the Five of Cups back here, which is also more heartbreak energy. You know, so anyway, yeah, sorry, I was going to say the King of Wands is reversed. The Knight of Cups is reversed. And, you know, so I'm just getting, okay. So I am definitely getting some potential making a romantic decision about between people. If that resonates, take it. And if it doesn't, then, you know, just ignore that part, okay? Now, that being said, right, in the physical, like, or body, you know, like material realm, if you know, so we have definitely like an imbalance, right? With the Two of Pentacles being reversed, there's something that you are not balancing that you need to do. Now, like I said, that might be two people. That might be, you know, like work and your relationship, right? Or your personal life and your love life, or your work life and your love life, right? Like there's something that you're not balancing in your love life. Now, with this Knight of Cups, okay, so So what I'm getting here, okay, is, the Knight of Cups usually comes with, and it is reversed, right? So the Knight of Cups usually comes with a lot of loving messages. The Knight of Cups is a charmer and a lover and is, up for a good time if you must. So, with the Knight of Cups energy being here, what I am getting, okay, I am getting this like player energy right now, okay? And what I'm getting is that you need to check your player ways, okay? I'm sorry that, like I said, this might not necessarily pertain to two people, if it resonates, but if it doesn't, it might just be about, hey, like maybe you're being too flirty, but not really focusing, right? Maybe you're kind of going out there charming everybody, but, are you really creating anything sustainable, right? So, this reading is intended, if you're in a headspace where you're looking for something more sustainable, if you're looking for something more long-term, right? So if that's what you're looking for, this is kind of saying, chill. You gotta, you gotta temper that attitude. You gotta, not that attitude, right? But, like, are you kind of just wooing everybody because you can, sort of energy, right? So definitely kind of, check that. And the Temperance card also here, lets us know that, right? Like it feels like you are not tempering this. So, and I think this is really funny because you have the Knight of Cups, which is water, and the King of Wands, which is fire here, and Temperance is all about tempering. In more traditional symbolism, you have water and fire being tempered, right? So I think this is really saying, hey, you're not checking yourself. Like you really need to kind of balance those energies. I think with the King of Wands being in reversed here, I get a very similar energy here, right? Maybe you're in a very, Knight of Cups, wooing, charming, King of Wands, just passionate, out there, uh, you know, conquering hearts, or, whatever you want to call it. And this is kind of saying, hey, if you're looking for something stable, you definitely need to come out of that energy, all right? Like you need to check your ways, right? Now, mentally, right, there's definitely a decision-making energy. Now, like I said at the beginning, yeah, you might be deciding between two people, or more, that's that's your deal. But, it might also be that you're trying to figure out, well, am I ready to settle down, right? Am I ready to leave all of this behind? With Judgment here as well, right? Judgment is, so it's like everything that you've done is coming at you, right? So be careful of how you are treating people, right? Because like, Judgment Day, right? It's like when you get, essentially called out for your actions, for better or for worse, right? So if, you've been messing around with people's hearts, Judgment is right here, right, staring at you. And I mean, maybe, I go back to that, the Three of Swords is very much the, it calls the attention to here, at least to me it does right now. And, is maybe saying, hey, watch your behavior, because otherwise you're going to end up in that Three of Swords energy. And is that what you want, right? So, with this High Priestess over here, I think, okay, what I'm getting here is really that you have to leave, or this is suggesting that you leave that sleaziness behind, so to speak, right? So the high priestess, very intuitive, like wonderful card, but it's also kind of like an like a hush hush card, right? Things are on the down low, things are kind of hidden, things are secretive, right? And what I'm getting is you have a lot of secrets, a lot of things that maybe you're not sharing out there, or maybe a lot of secrets within yourself. So I think this is asking you to assess that, right? And come out of that secretive energy, right? Like kind of let things get sorted, right? Like this judgment is kind of encouraging you to do that. um it's ultimately your choice, right? Like you decide what you want to do. But this very much feels like, hey, you want to avoid that heartbreak, make sure that you're checking, the way that you are treating others. I'm just really getting some heavy, player energy, which is not, I mean, you do you. I'm not telling anybody how to live their lives, but these are all suggestions, right? Like, it's kind of, it feels very warning like, right? Temper your, the way that you are relating to others, right? Like, stop hiding things, stop being secretive. Actually, if you're looking for a long-term commitment, if you're right, and this is kind of what I'm saying, right? Like, this is, and if you're watching this reading, my thought is that you are to some extent, right, like looking for that introspection as to how to attain that. So like that longer, more sustainable sort of dynamic relationship. So yeah, you definitely have some things to balance in your life. You definitely have some secrets to either reveal or process, and some decisions to make this season, this Venus in Virgo couple of weeks. So definitely, use this energy to help you, do things that feel right. So I am going to pull a card from the Star Codes Astro Oracle, and I will read, I believe there's like a challenges and gifts section, and I'll read that and see what other messages the stars have for us. So, okay. We have dignified and strength. Okay. And 13. All right. So for the challenge, it says, it may be tempting to take over. Yes, it's time for you to shine, but bring everyone along with you rather than dominate them, or you may be left high and dry once this game is over. Okay, so that might resonate for you in a different way, but I was saying I'm getting this heavy player attitude, right? And what is like that last line? You may be left high and dry once this game is over, right? So this says, like, for weeks, months, or lifetimes, you have prepared for this moment. The muscles you've built in your body and soul, and the understanding that you have accrued are needed here at this time and place. Okay. Action. Your voice matters. Trust that you are what's needed here in this moment. You are in your element and at the right place at the right time. So you have an advantage, but it's up to you to make a choice and run with the ball. Dodge the obstacles and look for the opportunities just beginning to emerge. Have faith in yourself. You have what it takes, even if you don't know it yet. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. So what I'm getting here, right, is like, hey, look, you are charming. Hey, you are passionate. Like, hey, you have this potential, right? Like, you have all of these things to offer. And, maybe that's part of why you're over here on this, kind of player sort of, uh, sorry, I hate that metaphor, but you know, like playing the field sort of thing, right? Because you're just kind of trying to see what's out there, find your person or whatever, right? But I think, you know, what I'm really hearing, with the word dignified just popping out, and the whole, you know, you don't want to be left high and dry, is like, as you are doing these things, just make sure that you are treating people with dignity and respect, okay? Because you do not want that energy to come back at you, okay? So I think, you know, use this, you know, season to kind of think about your actions, and, you know, how you are conveying, right, that dignity, and, you know, checking yourself as to how you are treating others, right? So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you, pile number 2. If anything resonated, I know, please don't hate me, right? But you know, I'm just, you know, I asked for the messages that would be the most helpful, okay? But please, you know, leave me a like, a comment, you know, let me know if anything resonated, or yeah, I appreciate any feedback. Thank you so much. Hi, pile number 3, and welcome those of you who also might have chosen the Fluorite or the Modern Witch Tarot. If you have no idea what we're doing here, I would like to encourage you to watch the intro at least a little bit, you know, to kind of get a glimpse of what we're doing. But in, you know, a sentence or two, we are just looking, you know, at, you know, things that we might be able to address during this Venus and Virgo transit, in order to, you know, kind of match, you know, sort of, you know, what we're doing with what we want, in the sense of, you know, in love, right? So like, in order to invite love into our lives, what are some of the things that we can start doing in different areas of our lives? All right. So thank you for being here. Let me do one quick shuffle. Goodness, what is, well, are you are you okay, pile number 3? All right. Let me, I don't know why I felt like I needed to do a little bit more, but all right, let me just cut this and let's do this. All right. So, in the, like, in body or physical, okay, we have 2 of Cups. In your heart space, what needs attention is, you know, the Lovers. Okay. Mentally, 5 of Cups. Okay, I see. Okay. Now little steps, things that you can start doing. Okay, Temperance reversed. Justice. Interesting. And 10 of Swords. Okay. Hi. I'm sorry I laugh. I shouldn't laugh, should I? I'm not like laughing at you. It's just funny when like things start making sense. Okay. Or like sometimes I just get the like of everything connecting, and all the messages kind of, you know, coming in. Anyway, sorry. So wow. This, okay, this definitely feels heavy, okay? And I think now I now I know why I asked you if you were okay earlier. I think I felt it. Okay, but I think, you know, this might be a big season for you, and I think it can be potentially like, it can have a really beautiful outcome, but you're going to be doing a lot of hard work. So if you choose to take on the challenge, you know, but with this Tower in reversed, you are definitely going through a big internal transformation, right? You are definitely, you might, okay, so usually when the Tower is reversed, I get internal kind of conflict, internal transformation, emotional upheaval, rather than, external things kind of happening, right? It's like a destruction of the self, right? It's kind of how I see it. But for some reason, I do get the sense that, there might have been some external circumstances that led to this internal upheaval and this eternal like rehaul of, yourself, or, that you are going through, right? It does feel like you are still in this energy. It's not like you have come out of this. And I do see that. I mean, especially right here, right? Mentally, this is like your mental space. You have the Five of Cups and the Ten of Swords, right? Now, the beautiful part about this, okay, I love how this just kind of all connects. And that's why I'm like, I know it's easier said than done, but you do have some, beauty that can really rise from this. Because, with the Five of Cups, yes, there is emotional distress. There is, feeling glum, and, it's like, it is this despair. I'm getting the word despair here, right? But I love to emphasize when we get that Five of Cups, that Two of Cups standing right here, okay? So, I don't know. I know my lighting's terrible. I'm sorry. But, right, that's just kind of a reminder of things that are to come, right? So maybe right now you are in this distraught energy and feeling full of despair, but there's that glimmer of hope right there, okay? And I think that's further emphasized by this Ten of Swords here, because once again, right, you get that deep down and out like mental anguish, just heavy, even depression potentially. And for whomever might need to hear this, I'm just gonna throw it out there. Like, if you really feel like you're having a hard time getting yourself out of this, like, please reach out to someone, right? Like, whether it's a friend or a therapist, or finding, support with that. Like, please do that. I don't know who needed to hear that, but the message just really wanted to, yeah, sorry, come out of my mouth. Okay. Now, the thing about 10th, right, is that yes, you might have all of those heavy energies, but it's wrapping up something in order to begin something new. So you are very close to a new beginning, right? I'm really sensing this, like you're almost there, like you're almost at this, achieving fairness and balance in your life, and acquiring this like fully balanced, lover's energy that your heart space so much desires. Because what I'm really getting in this pile is this deep desire for love, right? But it really does, yeah, like, sorry. So yeah, that, I mean that's really what I'm getting, right? Like that deep desire for love, but just mentally, right? And I think that mental kind of energy, full of, I don't want to say like depressive energy, but yeah, like just like very heavy energy, that that's why I'm sorry, I'm gonna reiterate, like, reach out for support, like, and if like, look for resources, right? Because sometimes it's really hard to get out of this, right? Because what I'm really sensing is that, if you manage to see that, right, like you have, I mean, just, the Two Cups standing right here. You have the Two of Cups over here. You have the Lovers. You have Temperance. You have Justice, right? In the heart space, right? So I think like Justice is in this. I don't know why. What I'm really getting is that Justice is asking you to be fair with yourself, right? So I don't know if you are tormenting yourself about something that happened, maybe in your love life. But I think what I'm really getting is that justice is kind of saying, hey, you know what? Like, it's okay. You're growing. You're moving on. Maybe you did something, bad before, but it's okay, right? Like, it's okay to kind of move forward, right? With, sorry, the Two of Cups. And actually, yeah, see, now I see why I went backwards. But with the Two of Cups reversed in the, like, this is kind of like my body, physical, like, realm, uh, row, column. So, I'm really kind of getting, yeah, some sort of breakup vibe, right? Just with, the Two of Cups reversed. You do have, like, Temperance, maybe, I mean, like, it's reverse. Okay, so, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. I get, like, 20 million thoughts at once, and it can be, my mouth is not as fast as my brain. But, yeah, so, like, it is very possible that, some of you are kind of coming from this breakup, or coming from, something that just, didn't work out for, I don't know, whatever reason. But yeah, like, I think, Temperance really here is asking you to take that, okay. Sorry. And well, my throat randomly got really tickly. So I think this is, I think this needs to be said. So I think it's, with this Temperance energy, right? It's about, like, taking all of those emotions, right? Everything that you're kind of dwelling in, and transforming that, right? So just, yeah, like, okay. So, and I say this, I want to say this very, very carefully, but I think what you're meant to be doing this season is looking at, the patterns, maybe the things that caused the breakup, maybe the things that have caused the failed relationships. If it's not a breakup, it could just be a series of relationships that haven't worked out, or the lack of having a relationship, right? But kind of look at those patterns and temper that, right? So, like, take all of those emotions that you are getting over here, and think about how you can transform them into leading, right, like, maybe like a more passionate life, and also like a more fair life in your heart space, right? So if maybe you're thinking about things that you did before that were not fair, maybe to somebody or something, how can you change that in the future, right? How can you transform that? Or if you were hurt, right? If you were on the receiving end of the pain, right? Okay, how can you transform that pain to make sure that you are in your heart, like, balanced, and, willing to kind of open up yourself to that energy again, right? Because what I'm really sensing in this pile is just such a deep desire to be in union with, in partnership, and, like, that desire for balance, that desire for just companionship. I'm just, right, like, I can sense that. And, that's not gonna happen unless you're addressing those things that are keeping you down, right? Because you cannot achieve, like, a fair and balanced, harmonious, union, when you're carrying all of this, right? Like, you have to let these 3 cups go, right, in order to get, like, those 2 standing cups, right? And yeah, sorry, I'm just, there's so many, like, there's 2 cups there, there's 2 cups there, there's that, there's, like, I know that's, like, the Libra scales, but it looks like little receptacles. Anyway, so yeah, like I think, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm gonna say it a third time for those of you in the back, but if you need support with this, transforming of those emotions, like processing those heartbreaks, or processing those thoughts that are keeping you from accepting love, from moving on, from, like transforming, all of those all of that sadness into, okay, how can I do it better? Definitely reach out for help, right? Try to find someone, because yeah, like that's not easy work, right? But I think that if you can kind of process that and transfer that, right, and transform that, then you can really be in this beautiful heart space, right? But I think your thoughts and your minds are just very much controlling the situation right now. So I think those are the little things that you can be doing during right now, right? To like open yourself up to, to like love, like real love, right? Fair love. Okay, so I'm gonna pull an oracle card from the star codes astro and see what other messages you could get. Okay, so you have Aries and Act. I'm gonna read like that's the first one. Number one. You're number one. I I don't know why I felt the need to say that, but whoever needed to hear it, you're number one. Like you need to be your number one, right? Okay, so the challenge says accidents increase when you're in a hurry, rushing through a project, or impatiently distracted. The flammable temperament can spark inspiration or spark a conflagration. Proceed with caution. Okay. So, what I'm getting from this is like maybe in search of this you've been like rushing through too many relationships, or maybe, right, like I think I said at a point, like it might be like a series of things happening, but you're not, right? Sorry, something's happening in my kitchen, and sorry, I got distracted. I don't know what it is, but okay. So impatiently distracted, sorry about that, or rushing through a project, right? Like, so this is not something that you can rush through. You cannot rush to heal, right? You need to feel your feels. You need to go through this extended process, right? Like what I'm really getting is like, this isn't just Venus and Virgo transit season work, right? Like this is gonna take a while. Okay. So okay, I'm gonna read the gift. Aries marks the beginning of spring in the northern hemisphere. After a long dark winter, the dead landscape comes alive. I love that, right? Because it's like you have that rebirth coming, right? Like you're close to this rebirth, and it's been a long dark winter for you. Like maybe you're still in winter, but right, like there's that hope there. Plants that were shorn of leaves or dormant now breathe new life. This is a brave miracle, and it can be your miracle. It can be your miracle, right? Like you have the potential to get out of this mentality and into something truly beautiful. Where was I? Feel the flowing inner life force. Trust this divine direction and summon the courage to begin. So, if you've been too scared to delve into these thoughts, to really explore, right, like the shadows of what's, causing the grief, or causing this inability to, of be in union or whatever, right? I think this is just kind of saying, hey, this is the time to start acting, right? Like start that work. Like I don't think this is, right, like I said, this isn't going to be work that ends as soon as Venus and Virgo ends. I think this is like work that is, it's going to be long, but it's going to be so rewarding and beautiful, and You got this, okay? Like pile number 3, you got this, okay? I'm gonna say it a 4th time because I feel like I need to, but reach out to people for support, okay? All right. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. If anything resonated, please, feel free to leave me a like or a comment. I appreciate your support and thank you for being here. Good luck. Hi and welcome. Those of you who chose pile number 4 or the orange calcite or the tarot scoodle. So if you don't know what we're doing, I would like to encourage you to watch the intro at least a bit, and I can tell you more about the spread. But in short, what we're doing is looking for insight into different areas in our life and what kind of attention they need in order to allow us to create space to, set up healthy habits and routines and things like that during this Venus and Virgo transit. And, in hopes to, welcome in love later. So, all right. I am shuffling the deck, so if it's louder than me, I'm sorry. But let me do one more and cut it. And all right, pile number 4. So embody physical realm. Okay, you have the High Priestess. In your heart space, you have the Ace of Pentacles. In mind, you have the 5 of Wands. Okay. And then as clarifiers, we have the 9 of Cups. Okay. We have the 2 of Cups reversed in the heart space. Okay. And we have the 3 of Swords in the mental space. Okay. Yep. Okay. Sorry. I felt it. I think, all right. I think okay, well, pile number 4. I think this is our self-love pile, just to kind of put it out there. So, I think this season overall, like big theme energy, I think it's just really about slowing down, worrying about yourself, self-fulfillment, and some healing in there, which I think you're coming out of some healing. So, okay, well, let's explore this further. But yeah, okay. So, where do I even start? Okay. I'll start with the 9 of Swords, the overall energy, because I think it kind of synthesizes kind of everything a little bit. Well, we'll say, okay, let's go. So with the 9 of Swords, you usually have, right, a lot of action, just like forward movement. You're communicating, you're messaging, right, is the fastest knight in the deck. But with it being reversed, what I'm really getting is that you need to slow down in the love department. Like, I think it's almost like you need to take a little break from love. That's really, really, really what I'm getting. As far as love in the romantic sense, because I think what you need to be focusing on is your self-love, okay? So in the mental space, we do have the 5 of Wands and the 3 of Swords reversed, okay? So, because this is kind of like in the next steps row, I'm getting that like you've been processing some healing. Okay, I don't know that you're maybe fully healed, and I think that's kind of what you need to be kind of working on. But you're healing some sort of struggles. Okay, so mentally, like you've been, I'm getting this, battling yourself sort of thing. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what those struggles have been about. Maybe you're going through, like life changes. I mean, with the Ace of Pentacles being here, kind of like maybe new beginnings and new things are happening in your life, and it's maybe causing you like a lot of stress. This could also just be because this is kind of like a love, well, because this is supposed to be a love reading. It could just be, right, you kind of battling, how do I say this? Like your past experiences, right? So, kind of focusing on, like what has my love life kind of looked like, and that's bringing a lot of thoughts to you. So, with the Three of Swords being reversed, I'm really just getting that you are working on your healing, and I think that's great, and I think you need to like push that in order to embody that, right? Because this is the kind of body material sort of my column for that. So, I think this is asking you to be in your Nine of Cups energy. So that's all about, wish fulfillment and emotional fulfillment, I think of it as, right? But it's not like the 10 of Cups, right? Like it's not like with other people. It's about yourself. So you need to worry on your own emotional fulfillment. Now, another reason I say that is because in the heart space, you have the Two of Cups reversed. So what that's suggesting is also that, you need to chill on the romance for a bit, okay? So slow down on that, maybe put that off to the side, really, really, really focus on yourself, okay? Now, in your heart space, this Ace of Pentacles is in your heart space, so that's why I'm not sure if like you are going through new things or starting new projects, but there's definitely that feeling that you want to start something, but because it is a pentacle, I am thinking that you're feeling the need to start something in the physical realm, but you just haven't done it yet, right? Now, with the High Priestess being in reversed, what I'm getting is you need to come out of that, how do I, like, not shyness. I'm getting the word shyness, but, that, kind of dealing with things on your own energy sort of thing. Like, so, with the High Priestess, you get, she's silent, right? Like she's wonderful. It's one of my favorite cards. But, she's silent, but, so particularly, okay, so in this deck, right, the High Priestess is accompanied by a bunch of different figures, right? That doesn't usually, I haven't seen a lot of decks like that, right? Because usually she's like silent, she's introspective, she has all of that, mystical, like mysterious, like energy, right? But what I'm kind of getting here is that not only do you need to come out of this like state of not speaking, and for some reason I'm getting about whatever this thing that you're trying to start is, but I think this is asking you to almost like start socializing a little bit more, right? It's like, hey, you've gathered the knowledge. I feel a lot of strength in this pile. Like, you're not, right? How do I say this? It's not like, hey, you've achieved healed status, because that's not a thing, right? But you are like really strong, right? Like you are working on your healing. You are working on healing these wounds and these struggles. Like you're thinking about starting new ventures. You have all the potential of being emotionally fulfilled by yourself, right? So I think you need to kind of slow down in the love department and continue to focus on yourself. And I think this is kind of asking you to maybe kind of talk about things that you're trying to start, maybe communicate a little bit more in your physical realm. And with the High Priestess, I think the reason like this came out to suggest that, which I don't usually think of the High Priestess as a card that suggests that, I think it's because you need to trust your intuition, right? Maybe that's like something that you're still working on. Like I think you're working on it, and you have, right, like all the makings for all that good stuff. But it's kind of saying, hey, like trust your intuition, trust who you are, trust all that inner knowledge that you have, in order to kind of keep going and working toward that wish fulfillment and the things that are going to make you happy. Like I think this is really, really about you just being your best you, like doing things for yourself, starting things for yourself. I think romance is gonna just really have to take a step back this, at least, this is intended to be a Venus and Virgo transit reading. So, at least during this time, really take this time to work on you and focus on you and love you and fill your own cups and start your own projects, maybe make a couple of friends. All right. So yeah, I don't have much more to say than that. But yeah, I mean it really feels like you're on a good path. I think yeah, like love's just gonna have to take a step back this for a couple of weeks. All right. I think you're doing amazing. I hope you're proud. I don't know why I'm getting this very proud feeling. Like I hope you're in this energy. I hope you're in this Nine of Cups. Like I'm all that, and I feel all that, and I feel good energy, because I don't know. I'm getting a sense of pride, and trust me, I don't feel that often. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, so. All right, let me pull an oracle card from the star codes Astro, see what other messages the stars have for... okay. Sorry. This just wanted to pop up. 32. Okay, I don't know what this means. Okay, sorry, I don't know. I just saw 3223. Okay, I don't know if that means anything to anyone. Let me know. Maybe just me. Also, sorry. Yeah, that does go down to 5 and then 555. Okay, I'm gonna stop. But I could do this all day. But yeah, it changes. Oh no, I was gonna read. Sorry. 32. Vesta. So it says Vesta and Hearth. Let's read. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Vesta warns you to share yourself rather than sacrifice yourself. Okay. Yes. I don't know why. That line, just that line, really I feel like this encompasses this card, right? Like I think this whole like sharing your knowledge, sharing your intuition, that's kind of what this is speaking to me, like in regards to this kind of card and the message that I was thinking of earlier, right? It's kind of like the High Priestess is sharing that that knowledge, sorry, and then yeah, right, like, and maybe the whole not rather than sacrifice yourself is like, sometimes when whether we want it or not, and even in the healthiest of relationships, right, like it's not like you're sacrificing yourself, but then you're not just thinking about yourself, you're thinking about another person as well, right? So I think this is kind of saying, hey, like right now, like focus on yourself, okay? Your hard work and holding the situation together may be ignored or taken for granted unless you know your worth, okay? So yes, focus on like really embodying your work, okay? Find the temple within, the place of quiet safety where you can tend the fire and carry the sacred temple with you always. Sorry, like just the whole temple with the priestess and this. Okay, yeah. So, let's see. I was going to read the action part. So it says, action, evaluate yourself and your life. Each human's task is to help reduce the total suffering on earth and increase the total joy. Your joy and suffering matter as much, neither more nor less, than anyone else's. Do not burn yourself up for another's cause, nor withhold your warmth, but share what you have to offer. Okay. So a couple of things, right? It's kind of like this socializing thing back again, but not in a romantic way, I'm really getting. But also, where was it? Like your joy and suffering matter as much, neither more nor less, right? I mean, I just really get that emphasis on you, right? Do not burn yourself up for another's cause, nor withhold your warmth, right? I just really, I'm really getting that this is just a time for you to kind of like focus on you, but at the same time, I think the socialization aspect is more about being like with loved ones and people that you care about rather than having a romantic focus. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm getting from there. Okay, maybe you have a tendency to lose yourself in a relationship or things like that, and maybe that's kind of some of the things. I don't know if that resonates, that might not. But you know, those are some of the things that's why you have to work so much on being your own emotional fulfillment, right? So that you're not losing yourself. So yeah, focus on yourself. Do little things for yourself. If you have something getting started or something that you want to start, like this is such a wonderful time. So, you know, keep doing you and working on you. Take a little break from romance. All right, that's just a suggestion, but you know. All right, so I'm gonna leave it there. Pile number 4. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. If anything resonated, you know, please let me know. Leave me a like or a comment. I appreciate any feedback, and I really appreciate your time. Thank you for being here.